asks us a question. He said, Dear Peter Obi, assuming the agreement in the coalition is for you to serve one term and hand over to the North, would you be ready to return to power later or take this arrangement? I'm sorry if this is off the deep end, but this is from the comment section. Balati, assuming the agreement in the coalition is for you to serve one term and hand over to the North, would you be ready to return power later? Please, sir, you can just answer this, and then on the back end, we'll get back to you.
I will be very quick. What I've been lacking in our political space is issue to do with character and integrity. Character is what defines a human being. Integrity is what goes to show that he means well. If you take the arrangement, which is understandably what you can call an unwritten agreement, is that the power will go up and not. And if that arrangement is to be followed strictly, I didn't put that arrangement, but if you follow it strictly, you will see that anybody, not just me, who happen to come from the South as president in 2027 must be ready to leave on the 28th or 29th of May 2031. I didn't say 29, 28. And if you know me, I campaign for zoning. I champion zoning in Anambra State. That is one of the reasons today some people felt we must deal with this man. I insisted on it, I maintained it, and I followed it to the letter till the last minute. Until today, I still follow it religiously in that state. Let me assure you, my character and integrity is far more important to me. Just like I'm not desperate to be president of Nigeria, if I have an opportunity and the agreement is for 2 years, I'll vote for 2 years. In 2 years, I will be able to bring competency, capacity, and compassion into governance. The things are happening today that as president, it will not happen under my watch. So you can take that to the bank and say, I told you so. Not
Thank you very much.
I will be there on 29th of May.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're supposed to stop being. And that happened in Anambra State.
Thank you very much, sir. My second question for you. Recently, you condemned President Tinubu's trip to St. Lucia. With a little bit of data, as at April 2025, President Tinubu had spent 59 days on 8 trips to France. He has done 20 trips out of the country as at January of 2025. He's currently in St. Lucia after coming back from a holiday in Lagos after another holiday in France. A very simple question for you, sir. How do you balance? You've been very vocal about criticizing Tinubu's foreign trips overseas. The presidency says it's to bolster international relations. How do you balance staying at home in Nigeria, settling your domestic issue, and how the current government is doing it wrong, especially vis-a-vis the current trip to St. Lucia? Thank you, sir.
Let me tell you, nobody takes you serious internationally, and you can't have a strong international relationship if you do not have strong domestic and a stable government. I've said it before that St. Lucia is a country with a size of 617 square kilometers. 617 square kilometers. Nigerian 10th largest city is Ilorin. Ilorin is 765 square kilometers. So Ilorin is about 25% more in size than St. Lucia. St. Lucia is a country with 180,000 people. 180,000 people, that is the size of the population of St. Lucia, the population, if you compare it with the population of most of our capitals, which I've compared in my tweet, you will see that it is about a third, like I said, a third of a city like Mina, or to even bring it closer to Lagos. St. Lucia is 180,000 persons. Ajegule in Lagos is over 540. So Ajegule is 3 times more populated than St. Lucia. In terms of economy, you cannot compare. I'm just talking about Ajegule. So in terms of economy, it is just about probably $2 billion, which is about 1% of our country. So I don't know what the Lagos State alone GDP, I can tell you, would be at least 10 times 20 that of St. Lucia. So I do not see what is going to St. Lucia to do in terms of it, if it's going to be attracting or talking about the economy of Nigeria. I can understand if it was going to Indonesia, a country of our size of 270 million people, and we have an economy we need to emulate. As Professor Lewis, renowned Professor Lewis, wrote a book. He wrote Growing Apart. He compared Nigeria and Indonesia. People said, the people in government said they went there for cultural heritage because most 180,000 people living in Indonesia, in St. Lucia, are supposed to be free from us. Maybe they were slaves or this or Nigeria. Come on. People are dying here. In the past few years, we probably have lost amongst St. Lucia deaths of deaths. If we are to go by record release that was denied, but people are dying daily here. I have said, and I keep saying it again, the leaders of Nigeria today should sit down and face Nigeria. Above all, he's going to spend 8 days. He left us on Saturday. He's going to spend about a week in St. Lucia. President Tinubu have never spent a night in any of our states, except Lagos, in 2 years. And you are going to a place that is smaller than the 10 biggest states in Nigeria, all the far away to St. Lucia, when he could not do 20 minutes journey to Mina, to be able to go to Niger State, where we lost about 200 people and over 1,000 missing. It is not about talking about or complaining about holidays, but complaining that this governance requires compassion. That's all we're asking.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Toastin, please go ahead with your question.
All right, thank you, Gloria. His Excellency, all Nigerians looking forward to hearing from you regarding coalition. And my first question tonight is, recent reports suggested you were close to a joint ticket with Atiku Abubakar for 2027, but your supporters rejected that. Can you please clarify where you stand, running solo or as a part of a coalition, and how you plan to move forward?
That I'm close to what?
He wants you to repeat.
Yes, that you are close to a joint ticket with Atiku Abubakar for 2027.
Where did you get that from? It's not a question of my people rejecting. Let me tell you now. In the coalition, we have never discussed about tickets. You have heard me say it again. In the coalition, and I repeat it, I'm involved in the coalition. And I'm involved there. We're not talking about who will have the ticket or not. If the coalition is about going to take power just for power's sake, cut me out of it. If the coalition cannot be about how we stop the killing in Boronu, in Zamfara, in Benue, how we secure our country, how we ensure that our people have food on the table, how our enemies can thrive, how our industries can be productive, count me out of it. I want to see Nigeria work. Not that I want to be president of Nigeria. I waste everybody's time. People have wasted people's time enough here. I want to see the president of Nigeria that wouldn't know there's a crisis in Benue and go there and stay overnight. I cry and feel their pain. Go there and attend the mass burial of those people. I say it will not happen again in our country. When I was governor, people were killed in the north, the movie. They brought them to Anderson, 10 bodies. I showed the government. I was in their burial. Because that is, for me, should not happen. People have accused me, even me, that they found some people in the river in Nigeria. Because I was overseas. When those people were found, I turned back, canceled everything I'm doing, came back here, got involved in it. Federal government of Nigeria set up a panel and said it's not a state matter. Yes, I did everything possible to ensure that listen, but there's a bit I can control. Go and ask anywhere where there has been issue in Anambra State. I was there physically. And I want to be the president. Do that. I want to see a situation where a people in the north like Zulu will say this will not happen and we will not move there. Anybody who wants to stand to be able to put even in the life of Nigerians. How many people will die before we say we are at war? We are a nation at war, and we will fight that war head on. Our soldiers are dying. What are we prioritizing? On the day 17 soldiers died in Abuja, sorry, in Niger State, and we're talking about it. Our leaders are commissioning what's up? Where the truth? I never go there to war. Saying, with this level of debt, I will not be traveling abroad to attract foreign investor. We are at war. The place is not happening here. We see the way the federal president is looking, very interested and talking, where is the national concern to fight this war?
Hello, Your Excellency. I think we're losing you a little bit. Can you hear us, sir? Yeah, it's sounding a little faint. I don't know if you're far away from the speaker area or the part of the phone where you speak.
Everything is on. Maybe the people are common on this one.
It's clearer now, sir. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
We will do things differently in 2027. We will not vote, but we will make sure that the vote in every booth counts. If our people in every booth had insisted and done the right thing, we won't even get to Abuja before the election is concluded. So let's do things properly first. And that we are trying to put together. And I assure you, we will put it together. That's where we want to be. We want to make sure everything is ready done first before we get to Abuja to be able to insist on the right thing. We will make sure we get it right before we get to a stage that we're not going to be violent, but we are going to be strict that the right thing will be done. And I'm sure you will see it happen. Because we will ensure that people are in every booth and are not going to allow what happened before to happen. And that is where we will start.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Go ahead, M6. Go.
Hello, sir. Bola Tinubu has made us understand how quickly you can further destroy a nation in a very short time. One gaffe speech at his inauguration, literally blew up inflation in seconds. On the flip side, good governance from Alex Otti has also shown us that 24 years of decadence in a state can literally be fixed in the same 2 years that Tinubu has given us ineffectual leadership. I'm asking a simple question, sir. Give me 3 things you would look into or take serious in your first 100 days in office. Because I need you to understand that when you get into power in 2027, for instance, you literally will have no time and Nigerians will be on a shorter fuse with you than they possibly were with Buhari and or Tinubu. So in 100 days, what will be 3 things you would focus on that Nigerians will start to feel better when you get into power? Thank you, sir.
It's very simple. You bring civility and order in governance. How from day one, prioritize security of life and property. Prioritize critical areas of the measuring development, which is education, health, and pulling people out of poverty. And you said to me, no, that is not achievable. Not that something you can start from day one. How do you prioritize them? You start by cutting the cost of governance and ensuring that resources are being rechanneled as quickly as possible to these areas. You start by ensuring that you fight corruption head on from day one. From day one, if you have zero tolerance on your own for corruption, your family and everybody are not involved. You start channeling resources into critical areas. And it's not something you can go far away to know how it was done. That is what I did in my state. That is what led to my impeachment. Because the people didn't understand what I was doing. Because from day one, I started cutting cost of governance. From day one, I've done it in every folder where I showed 3 reasons why I was impeached. Refurbishing office, refurbishing my lodge, ensuring that Anambra State, under my watch, does not have a governor's lodge in Abuja. Shutting down office of First Lady. Using in my first 1 year, the cost of my travel was less than 20% of what was budgeted. I can go on and on. And then went into securing the state. It was very tough. For the first 2 years, it was tough. Very, very tough. For me, I must say that. Going into education, again, it was tough. Going into pursuing areas of health, rural roads, in order to open up to fight poverty. When people talk about me and poverty, I can only say, go and listen to Magnus Pakol. I was in charge of fighting poverty. Go and check my records from the European Union to UNICEF to UNDP. And if that is better spelled that in 7 years, because that's 1 year I wasn't there, in 7 years, we were the best state in Millennium Development Goals. We started 8 years before we joined. So there's no new fruit. For example, somebody said now, whether I'm still in Labour Party, what they can do? If I'm involved, one of the things I must be able to do to bring about stability in our polity is to ensure we have a strong opposition, very strong opposition, that the state will ensure it functions well, supported well. The party must be supreme. The party is more important. We need parties that will make it to be worthwhile, to be respectful, and be able to ensure that we bring in changes that will make our opposition strong, and will fight for proportional representation in the parliament so that the opposition can be stronger. And I've consulted, because about nation building, you will see that one.
Hello, Your Excellency. We're losing you, sir. Okay. It just sounded faint a little bit.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, it's clearer now, sir.
Yes, press it. And what is your position? You can ask SCN. What is the party?
Incoming voice call from Atiku.
I gave them my staff vehicles to go for that campaign. I provided them security campaign. In the election I'm running, this is the campaign against me, against the campaign. Go ask the one on Jews. When he came to campaign for his party, it was me who gave them lunch after the campaign. He got the press conference in front of me, saying that I've done well, that this is coming to repress me. I was standing beside him as he was doing that press conference. I gave them the vehicle to come and do that campaign. I can go on and on. The only thing I've heard is that you would have told them also, but you didn't have to kill people. He didn't match those people. He didn't shoot them. He persisted. And that is what we require. We need to persist and insist that our vote will count. That's what other people did. They stood and insisted that their vote count. And their vote counted. That's what we needed. The difference will be clear. It is not for us to start fighting when we should come together and insist that our vote must count.
Thank you, Your Excellency. All right, guys. Initially we said 2 minutes. Please, in the interest of time, we know some people have to go to bed. Thank you all for your patience with us. But please limit your questions now to 1 minute. If it exceeds 1 minute, we may have to mute your mic. Ife Salako, you have the mic.
All right. Good evening, Your Excellency. Good evening, everyone. So I have a few questions. We'll just go to them straight up. So, first of all, we've been talking about coalition, and sorry I have to go back to that, but I just need a bit of clarification regarding that coalition. Is there a timeline to these coalition talks? Can we know? Because it's we're just anticipating. Today it's Peter Obi is part of coalition, tomorrow is Peter Obi is not part of it. But it's good that we've heard from you now that you're part of the coalition.
Okay, go on.
Yes, I was saying that it is good that we have heard from you directly that you're part of the coalition. So that solves that part. But my question number one is that, is there a timeline to these coalition talks? And do we know when we're going to know exactly what it is about the coalition? The party, the coalition is going to fly on, and that is number one question. The other part of the question is that of course, people are saying a lot of things, here and there. I know a lot of people believe that with this coalition talk, it has to be a coalition that will produce you, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, as the presidential candidate. Peradventure, this did not happen, as it were. Are we looking at alternative? Are you going to run as an individual candidate on another platform? That is the second part of the coalition question.
Please, one question at a time, Edakun.
The coalition, let me tell you, when people say at the time Peter Obi is part of it, at the time is not. From day one, I've always attended all meetings of the coalition. I've always, unless I traveled, I've always attended, and whenever I have issues, I discuss it with them. I can tell you, coalition is the one that's going to produce Peter Obi. We have not reached that stage. When we get to that stage, we discuss that. But the coalition is us coming to work together for the sake of the country, to save the country. We have not reached the stage where it's going to be this person. I believe that people who are coming together, Christian people that want to work together for the interest of the country. That is my belief. And if that is the case, I believe that there will come at a time all of us will sacrifice for the country. That's where I see it. We will sacrifice for the interest of the country. And at that time, we will know. We're going to say, who do we think? How do we think we can proceed to ensure that the best among us emerges as the candidates? I think people say, coalition adopts P2P, or coalition adopts KK, coalition adopts this person. No, we're not in that stage. I've told you now, the coalition wants to adopt a party, and we're going to do that very soon as our party. But remember that other parties are going to join. The reason why other parties haven't joined is that there's a problem in other parties. As they resolve their problem, we will all still come together, because the coalition is basically for future elections. That is why we said, those who want to run an election, you cannot go now and want to be candidate or one of the parties that are having one form of internal problem or the other, because independent electoral body can disqualify you. So I am part of the coalition, and I want the best for the coalition. I want the best for Nigeria. I want the best for the Obidient group, because they are struggling for struggling Nigerians. But I cannot tell you, no, the coalition must be this or this. You don't give such condition in politics. You have to work with other people. You don't even give it in life. You have to work with other people. So it's for us to ensure that we do the right things. All that I tell all Nigerians that want things to work is, let's stay on course and do the right thing. Let's stay on course. I'm committed to it. That is why I'm working hard 24 hours. And I assure you, like I said before, our vote in 2027 will count. Those who refuses to count it, I said it, we will ensure that they count it.
Thank you, Your Excellency.